it's alright. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say
it's all right.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Health and Wellness Show here on COARadio.com. We have a special 2-hour packed show of fun because we have special guests in the studios. If you caught our Facebook Live, you will see that we've already started chaos here. And tonight, joining us, not only as our musical director, but might also be a special guest, our very own Ryche Chlanda is in the house.
Maryann, hey.
Hello. Lead man.
Yeah. Tonight you had some company in those vocals, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
It's been really good, so thank you for coming here.
You're very welcome.
And our own engineer, our Ackerman's in the house. Who's making it all work this evening. And I'm not going to hold up with anything other than our special guest this evening, because I want you, the fans, to be able to call in and speak to them directly. So our special guests have known each other for decades, literally. On stage, they are known for their innovative compositions, unique visuals, and performances. Off stage, they are a dynamic group that have had their share of experiences you may not know and still continue to share their love and respect with each other. They have just recorded their new studio album and gearing up for touring, celebrating 50 years of Nektar. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the one, the only, the legendary rock band Nektar is in the house here on Health and Wellness. And sitting to the left of me, we have Derek Moore.
Hey, how you doing? There we go.
Sitting to the right of me, I like saying this, we have Mick Brockett.
Well, good evening, folks.
And next to him is Randy Dembo.
Hello.
And next to him is Ronnie Howden.
Hey, how you doing?
And our one and only world-class keyboardist sitting next to him, because I love to embarrass him. We have Kendall Scott.
Hello, world. Hello, world.
And Ryche Chlanda, because you're a part of Nektar.
Yes, I am.
And we do have a studio audience who drove 2.5 hours to be here. Our very own George.
Good old George.
Hey, George.
Thank you for driving and doing all of that. And we are here this evening to talk about Nektar. And the one thing that I ask you guys is jump in if you feel you have something to say, okay? Because you guys know the story better than I do. And I know that you guys started out in the 70s as Nektar. And the original members then, you had Mo, correct?
Yep.
Right? You had
Yeah, I was there.
Mick, yes, I know that you were there.
I was there.
Ronnie, you were there as well.
Ronnie was there.
You think
I
so?
can't remember.
Yeah,
And
it's
then-
a long time ago, isn't it?
Yes.
A long time ago.
And then the very late and talented Roy Albrighton was head. And then what's unique about this, and then after all of that, Richie, you were also in Nektar at one point.
1977, 78.
78.
77, 78.
78.
And 77, yeah, rehearsing.
Then people move along, and then Randy, you joined as well.
Yes, I did.
Do you know what year that
That was
was?
2005.
2005.
See, there you go. And then now,
So
you-
what happened between when I left in 2003 and 2005?
I snuck in.
but what I think is amazing about this band is that everybody moves around, and now you've all come together, and now Kendall has joined the bunch.
Newbie 2019. Yeah.
2019, see?
Yes.
And yet you guys are all starting over again with a new album, a new tour, everything. I think it's exciting that after this, celebrating
exciting.
50 years, mixing and matching, it's all coming together once again.
Yeah, it's a perfect storm. We drifted together.
You were practicing now.
Yeah. It started off with
Love.
me and Mick and Ron. Actually started off with Ron saying, we need to put a band together. Can you help me? So I started helping, and we got Ryche,
Yeah.
and we got Mick, and we were playing basically just the three of us, right? We were just playing, And then we decided we'd ask Randy to join us, and Randy came in. And then there was 4, and we really needed a keyboard player. And I said to Ryche, how's your keyboard player? And he says, he's great. So I said, okay.
And he's cheap.
And I'm cheap
But
as well.
he is great.
He's also attractive as well.
So
Cheap and attractive.
So we asked him to come. And what trick did they play on you when you came?
Oh, I did want to tell this story. So I pulled up in front of the rehearsal place. It's the middle of the suburbs. I had a car full of gear, packed. I unloaded it onto the street and was going to pick it up and bring it into the house. Tons of stuff. And Maryann comes out and says, I'm sorry, they won't be needing you. So they, the look on my face, looking at all my gear in the street with my gloves on and everything, then they all came out and gave me a hand. So it was just,
I'm
that
sorry,
moment
Kendall.
of joking.
It started in the
great.
traditional
But did we give
Nectar
you a
way.
hug?
Yes, you did. It was great.
That's
No,
the
it
one
was
thing
great.
this band
Great
does.
day.
Too. They all hug, especially you, Mo. You
Yeah.
give the biggest
I love
hugs.
to hug.
They are. They're like bear
hugs.
hugs.
Bear
No-
hugs.
Yeah, there's nothing better than a hug. It makes you feel good.
Yes.
It releases natural endorphins. Do you know that? To make elevate your mood.
Do endorphins
I
swim in
didn't-
the ocean?
Maybe a tab does.
What's dolphins got to do with it?
Well, it's really good because, I think the way you go, it's an eclectic bunch, I will say that. But I think what was really cool in being part of the experience, what you were saying, Mo, earlier, is that it was back in December, you had some basement tapes that you were listening to. And it started out kind of like that in your basement. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. The Magic is the Child band with Dave was winding down, and we asked Ryche, who was only 21 at the time. I can't believe that he was only 21, but he was. And we had a house in Chatham on Fairmount Avenue, 620 Fairmount Avenue.
Go and knock on the door right now.
Yeah. And
They tore that house down,
Yeah, no, they built another one though. I saw it, a bigger house.
Yeah.
That's to keep the horseflies out.
That house was never the same after you guys.
No, I'm
Well,
sure
that
it wasn't.
there.
So anyway, we
Sorry.
wrote a ton of music in that basement, and when we started putting this band together, we started digging it out and listening to it and saying, "Hey, this would fit here and that would fit there." And before we knew it, we had an album going. I think the basis of this album was written in that basement.
Yeah.
No
it
doubt,
was.
no doubt about that. It had a good feel to it. We have live tapes from there, just recorded with a little tape recorder mic. That sound great, and that was the basis of this album. Yeah, and we just kept going, and we ended up with 66 minutes of music.
Which is amazing nowadays for an album. And we will get to that. Now, for people who may have never heard of Nectar, I'm familiar that in 1971, I believe you were signed to the Belafonte label, right? And was that your journey to the center of the eye? Is that what started the whole Nectar?
That was the
Yeah,
baby.
we were actually signed to Bacillus, but the Bacillus label, which was Peter Hauker's label. Peter saw us at a concert, and I knew him from, well, both me and Ron knew him from the old days. I mean, old days,
He was in a
like
band.
64.
From the 60s, yeah.
What was the name of the band? I can't remember.
His band?
Yeah.
I can't remember. But anyway, he had it'll come to me at some point, I'm sure. And he asked us if we'd be on his label, and we had Journey to the Centre of the Eye was pretty much finished. It was, I believe, 42 minutes long. And back then, we recorded it in Dirk's studio in Stommel, near Cologne. And back then, they had no Dolby, they had no DBX, and therefore you couldn't stop playing, otherwise you'd hear the noise when you stopped playing.
So we played it continuous.
So we played the whole thing,
Oh, wow.
42 minutes
I didn't
straight.
know that. Wow.
Yeah, and the basic tracks were live, as we always do basic tracks live, and then we did overdubs on every spare inch of tape because there was only 8 tracks,
Oh.
and we
Put
did
it on paper.
we did a cajillion overdubs, and then when it came to mixing it, we had this piece of paper running down the whole mixer, with where all the stuff was. So we were sat on the faders. Okay, you put this up at that point and this up at that point, and that's how we mixed the album because we couldn't stop.
There's only 4
We
tracks.
had to just keep mixing it. Yeah, there's no computerized mixing like we have today.
Yeah.
I mean, the way records are done today is a dream in comparison to how it was back then. You know,
Yeah.
but still we had a lot of fun doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
we ran through the basic tracks at the beginning. If anybody made a mistake, we had to go all the way back.
And your songs go on for a long time.
Right.
So did you all like run after the person who might have made an error in that song? You know,
Nah,
yes.
we were just having so much fun.
It didn't matter.
It didn't matter, no.
No, it didn't. And then after Journey to the Center of the Eye, then it was Tab in the Ocean, right?
And that was recorded at Dirk's studio as well. He'd expanded it by then.
Yeah.
And we each had a booth. We each had a booth to ourselves, which was a little strange because we were used to, when we did Journey, that room was maybe 10 by 10.
Wow.
And we were all in this 10 by 10 room with our
I
gear.
think it's a little bit
Yeah.
bigger than that
No,
now.
10 by, this is 10 by 10, man. It's about how big it was.
It was. Yeah,
It was
you're
very
right.
small. I remember they had a Mellotron in there as well. I remember that. He had
Yeah,
one of the
we
first
had a
Mellotrons.
few problems
But when we
with that
did
too.
Tab, he built this big room. And in this big room, there were these little booths. They were probably 6 by 6 booths. And we each had a booth to play in, which was a little strange. You know, you look out the window, you're looking at people, and you sort of, you know, like...
I don't like that.
No,
Right?
I have to say, it didn't blow my dress up either. You know.
Didn't blow your dress up. That's an English.
Careful, Ma.
But the album turned out great. I mean, it was...
Yeah, I know. I love it.
I think that was on 16 track. I think it got 16
Yeah,
track
you
by
got a
then.
16.
Yeah.
now.
And then we did Sounds Like This.
And Remember the Future.
No, Sounds
Well,
Like
no,
This
sounds
came
like
first.
this to use up all the songs that were written
That's
before
exactly,
we did
yeah.
Journey to the Center of the Eye.
Yeah.
Because there
We-
was a lot of little songs that were hits, like
Yeah.
Good Day and
Yeah.
they were accumulated. 1, 2, 3, 4, the anti-war song that we did, based on Country Joe and the Fish, of course. But there were a lot of songs on Sounds Like This that needed to be put on record just so that we could do Remember the Future.
Yeah, so you could get them out of the way because they
Yeah.
were just cluttering. You know, you got all these songs and we played a lot of them. So what we did was we ran a competition and we got, I don't know how many fans, maybe 30, 40?
It was about 45
Yeah,
people
yeah.
total.
And it was over 2 nights.
Yeah.
And we played a concert in the studio for these people.
In the big room.
And then we picked one of the nights to be the album. I do believe there's an album out there now with both shows, both nights.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a lot of fun. We set up everything, including the PA, in
Wow.
the studio.
Just like as if we were
Just
going
like
to a
we-
gig.
Yeah, just like a
Yeah.
gig.
Something about that, though, the whole live thing. There's something about that whole...
It was very
energy.
special
Yeah.
because the people that were there, the fans that were there, were huge fans.
Yeah.
You know, you could have played bong and they would have cheered. You know,
So that sparked it
but,
on. Right?
but that was.
I heard there
great.
was a lot of wine in that session.
There was
too.
nearly as much wine as there was people.
Right. That's the story I've heard.
Yeah, that was. It got. Yeah, it got interesting as the night wore on. Let's say that. You know. And then we did Remember the Future. Remember the Future is the first album that we did not at Dirk's studio in Stommel near Cologne. It was in a little studio in
Chipping
Norton in England, which is near Oxford, right?
Yeah,
Oh
it
no,
is.
near Cambridge.
It's north.
One of them anyway. It's one near one of the universities, and that was a great little studio. That was, I bet it wasn't this, but it wasn't as big as this room. This room's about 20 by. It's about 20 by 12.
He's a contractor.
See, when
by
we,
trade.
Right, so he
when we
knows
want
that.
to know measurements, we always go to Mo.
Mo,
It's
He
always-
knows
it's
all
al- it's always
measurements.
off.
So we set all the gear up, and again we played the whole thing live, and the studio, you had rooms above the studio where we were living. So we were able to have very long sessions. In fact, we had, I think it was an 18-hour, 20-hour, 30-hour,
It was your
72-hour.
birthday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was my birthday.
Yeah,
we
right.
did. We
27th of March.
imbibed in wine and played some songs on my birthday.
Some song.
Unidentified flying object.
Yeah, that came out of that session. Yeah. But it was a great studio. We had 5 days to make the album, so we used every hour. I mean, I really mean
Yeah,
every
wow,
hour.
yeah.
We had, the last session we did was 72 hours straight.
Wow.
Wow.
We used every hour we could use. We asked them,
The Annies were
do we
good.
have it all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have it all the time. So we were feeding the engineer to keep him awake, and we were writing the music as we were going. We had the basic stuff.
And the words.
We didn't have any words, did we?
No,
We had
that's
no-
right. We
yeah.
wrote the words. as
So
we went along.
me and Mick were writing the words, and
Yeah.
you'd run in the studio, and Roy would sing them, or we'd go out and write some more words.
Had you been playing the music live, some of the music live
Yeah,
before?
yeah,
that,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. Show Me the Way was one of the ones.
And we
that
knew
did,
what
Burn Down the World.
the concept was. Just, it was Remember the Future.
Yeah.
And we had a song called Bluebird. Bluebird actually came from.
Been
if
knocking
you
around a
look on
while.
if you look on the Remember the Future album, there's a Bluebird guy on there, and that's where Bluebird came
Oh.
from. We saw the album and it sparked. Oh, Bluebird! Yeah, that's great. Roy picked up on it right away and sang Bluebird. Blah, blah, blah. You know, it was good. It was a fun album to make. You know, we would do vocals. We'd all be down singing harmonies, and they'd say, "Okay, do you want to come and listen to it?" "No, let's double it." "No, let's sing another one."
That's great.
Yeah, and that's how it went. You know, it was really, really good. And I got to sing "Let It Grow." We'd just written the lyrics, and I ran in the studio and I sang them so that Roy could sing them, because Roy sang most of the stuff.
Yeah.
And they liked it, so they had me sing.
Oh, that's great.
You had to get voted in to sing.
You still do.
Yeah.
I was never voted in, you notice. I never did sing.
Did you audition?
Did I try? No, I never tried to audition. How am I gonna? It wouldn't have worked from where I do the light show.
Would
Well,
have been
you-
a first.
So-
Would have been a first.
It would have been a
In
first.
finishing the story,
Yeah, finish the story.
we went to London to mix the album. Don't know why we did that, but we did.
Because we didn't like it.
No, I
doing
think
the-
it was going to be done in quad, maybe.
was
And
in
that
quad.
studio was out of phase. It threw the guitar off. You couldn't hear the guitar. And then we left right away and went to Copenhagen to join the Zappa tour.
Right.
And we couldn't play Remember the Future because we didn't know it.
The words were so fresh, nobody could remember them.
No, we knew the music, but we didn't know any of the words. So we had to learn it on the way on the Zappa tour. By about maybe
Rome.
4 or 5 gigs, we had
We
got
got
some
to
of
Rome
them down.
and managed to get it out.
And then we had to stop in at Stommel to remix the album in SQ Quad because the guitar had disappeared because of the.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's the Remember the Future. Oh, I have one more piece of Remember the Future. In the when we did the basic tracks on side one on Remember the Future, we played them live and completely missed a note. Just missed it completely. So I decided I would go in and 2 octaves on the piano, on the grand piano, on that note. And it sounds great. Sounded like it was meant to be, you know. But that's how
great.
how it got on the album.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
And the other thing about Remember the Future, it was a significant album for the band because the side length halves took up the entire record. Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was really long, right? And that was
sides.
your first U.S. release.
Yeah. Well, they're all really long.
Yes.
They are.
They
Yes,
are.
they are.
I mean, we specialize in really long songs.
We
Absolutely.
like long songs.
Still do. You still-
Yes,
still
you do.
A short song for us is about 8.5 minutes.
Yeah. In fact, it's on the new one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And we will get into that. Now, your band's origins were in Germany, right? And originally all British musicians?
Yeah. We all came from Britain, but we met, Ron and I met in France. And
Everybody else met in Germany.
No, I was playing with Judd's mates, who were George Gill, who was a sort of local legend. Ron walks up to the stage and he said, "I want to join your band." So we switched drummers that night.
That's how it works.
Me and Ron have played together ever since.
Yeah.
Those were the days, weren't they?
Yeah.
Do
And then
that.
we picked up Taff, I think, in Stuttgart, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And we picked up Mick in Nuremberg. We're playing a place called the Camera Club, and he came there with his light show, and we would talk about doing music and light theatre.
Audio
We
visual.
talked about it.
Yep, right there and
right
then.
Yeah.
That was before Woodstock, too.
Yeah, it
The
was.
week before
It
Woodstock.
was,
Wow.
Yeah, and then later, when we're in Hamburg and our guitarist left, we were looking for a guitarist, and we'd met Roy, and Ron had jammed with Roy. He said, "Why don't we ask Roy if he wants to join us?" So I sent him a telegram. "Do you want to join us?" We had to send him money because he had no money.
As always the
And
way.
then he came, and we had to play because we had no money.
Yeah.
So we played a gig. We'd never played together before.
Some things
Wow.
never change.
And we played our first gig. We jammed the entire night, and it was great. It was a lot of fun. And we decided if the music went down well, we would call the band Nectar, and if it didn't go down well, we'd call it Pollen. And well, it was just that one night, so it didn't matter, you know.
Right, yeah.
And so we decided on Nectar, and we decided on Nectar with a K, because it was stronger. And we've got our K in
got the
Kendall.
K
Kendall.
back.
Yeah.
You put the K in nectar.
So then we're in the Hotel
Mix.
Pacific Annex, where
Oh
we
my
lived
God.
for God knows how
Sex,
long.
drugs, and rock and roll all in one package.
all in one room.
I heard some stories about that.
Oh, you got to read
What
the
do you
diary.
want?
I'm
to
gonna tell
reveal one?
Randy, the stories don't live up to our
Well, one of the last gigs I played with Roy was in Hamburg at the Fabrik, remember?
Yeah.
And it was right across the street from that hotel, and he actually took us there, and he said, "The stuff that went on in this place, if I could tell you, it'd make your head spin."
It's like Vegas, you know.
Yeah.
For him to say that was a lot.
Oh, it was. So we're in the Pacific Annex.
They're all tripping over their words.
They're giving us this space in the back of the hotel because they didn't want us in the front part of the
I
hotel.
think there were about 20 rooms in that.
Yeah. So one day, Mick pokes his head round the door and said, "Hey guys,
I'm here.
I'm here." So we
Well, I
said,
had called you. Let's
Did-
be fair. I did
did
call you up.
"You might have warned us, yeah."
I did warn you.
And so we said, "Did you bring your light show?" And he said, "Well, it's somewhere. I don't remember where it was, but
Down in South Germany.
South Germany, yeah." So
Near Berblingen.
didn't we go down and get it?
Yep, down to Stuttgart.
Yeah. And then we would go to the gigs that we were playing, and we'd roll up and we'd set all the gear up, and I'd say to the owner of the club, "Do you want a light show?" And no, we've got lights. So we said,
Yeah, right.
well, I can't remember how much we were charging them, maybe 300 marks or whatever. And they said, he said, "No, we don't need one. We have lights." I said, "I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll do the light show, and if you don't like it, you don't have to pay for it." Not once did they not pay for it. Because they wanted us back.
There you go.
Can you do that again? Not exactly the same, but we can do it again.
Yeah, right.
Now, another big album that you had was Recycled, right? And that followed several of them, actually. You had Down to Earth. You had Sunday Night at the London Roadhouse, right?
Roundhouse.
Yeah. Well, if you
Roadhouse?
check them
Did
in
I say
order.
Roadhouse? I meant Roundhouse,
It's
yeah.
a roundhouse.
I would check them in order if you're going to check them. The next one would have been Down to Earth.
We got 2 hours.
Right.
Yeah, we do have 2 hours, right?
No,
Yeah, let's pat it out a little bit.
I do.
Did somebody else want to talk about Down to Earth? You?
I could talk about Down to Earth.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Because
Mick.
Down to Earth was, we were looking for a concept and we didn't have one. And the circus idea came up and we just converted the words to most of the songs to fit the circus.
Bit of the circus, right?
We did it the other way around.
Oh.
We didn't have the concept at the beginning. We just had a bunch of songs. We didn't know what to do with them.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that, Mick. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and we Circus Krone, which was the big circus
In Germany.
in Germany, they allowed us to go and take all the pictures in the big top, and they put on a big circus show for us. We got to hang with the elephants. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Kissed by a
We got
camel.
if you look on the cover,
That's
if you look
memorable.
on the inside of the cover, was the entire Nectar family.
I
Yes.
love that.
Kids,
It's your
the
whole
wives, the
family in there,
kids,
right?
the girlfriend.
I love that
everyone.
photo.
The
I-
crew.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love the front cover. I love the whole inside. I love that.
Well, that inside cover, the front cover was taken in London, in the middle of London.
Wandsworth Common. I remember where it was done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun doing the
Yeah.
filming, doing the shows for that. But that had some good stuff in it, and not only that, but we got to work with Bob Calvert from Hawkwind, who had us rolling in the studio. He did the Nelly the Elephant.
Yeah.
He did. The outtakes were hilarious.
Yeah, they were on an album somewhere.
Yeah.
Mark Powell
He-
released those.
Yeah.
He. I tried to get him when we went to London, but he'd already died, so he couldn't come.
guess not.
But he was really good. And then we had
P.P. Arnold.
P.P. Arnold, Pat Arnold, who she sang on Dark Side of the Moon, I think.
Show
right?
me the.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
She's a bunch of session singers.
She
And her
she
brother. It was her brother too.
she was phenomenal.
Yeah.
She did stuff with us. I'm trying to remember. Was it Little Boy that she sang on her own?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Somewhere out there is a recording of her singing Little Boy. It was never allowed to become on and out for whatever reason. I am going to find that, and we're going to release it. It was
Yeah.
really strong.
Her big hit was Call Me Angel of the Morning.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
call me.
wow.
Fantastic.
Great song.
She
I love that song.
she had such a set of pipes,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
She was awesome.
She was good.
She had a rasp.
She could
had,
sing the
yeah.
telephone book, and you
Yeah,
would have
yeah,
been happy with it.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah. Wow.
And we had the horn section too on that.
Oh yeah, I don't remember what they were, but they
The
were really
Stones,
good.
It was the Stones. Chris Mercer
Yeah.
was one of them.
I know you told them we want this, and they just played it.
Yeah.
You didn't need any music.
They were touring with the Stones, I think.
Yeah, I think they were. Yeah, I think you're right. But that was a lot. It was a lot of fun to make that album. I think it's more popular in its later days than it was at the time we recorded it.
Yeah.
Also, there were shorter songs on that album. We were doing that mainly for a radio audience. So
Yeah, I don't know. You know, I think that all the albums were a little different because we never did the same thing twice. We always did something different.
Yeah.
And I think people were a little surprised when that came out after Remember the Future. In fact, a lot of people said that Recycled was more of a follow-up to Remember the Future than Down to Earth was.
it actually was.
But today, most people, they like a lot of the songs on
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So,
I always looked at that as a trilogy, like Journey to the Center of the Eye goes to Remember the Future, goes to Recycled. In between, we did Tab in the Ocean and Down to Earth.
yeah,
Sounds.
yeah. And I think after that was Sunday Night at the Roundhouse, right?
Yeah.
We did Sunday Night at the Roundhouse with the Pie Mobile. Remember that?
Mhm, it was outside.
The
yeah.
outside.
Yeah.
And
That was
when
my stomping ground. That
yeah,
was.
yeah. It was at the what a great atmosphere that place
Yeah.
had, and we listened to it, and we didn't like it. So when we were making Remember the Future, we had a party for my birthday, and we took the music that we played on my birthday and we put it on. We put one side of the Sunday Night Roundhouse and one side from the party, and that went for quite a while until we listened to the music again, because
It wasn't that bad.
it was really good. That is one of my that is my favorite live Nectar album. It's got some absolutely dead ass tight.
It's got a
Energy. a lot of
Energy.
The version of
Unbelievable.
RTF on that is a couple of spots. It wasn't on the original release, but that's a
That's
stomping
honks.
version.
Honks.
That and 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, yeah.
Killer.
A Day in
Yeah.
the Life of the Preacher was 28 minutes
Yeah.
on that album.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the longest version ever.
that became my favorite album after a while. So they put that out as an album, and then they put the other album out with Oops or whatever they call it.
Monday to Tango.
Monday Tango and all them
Mile
things.
Red.
They were all made up on the spot, all of them.
Right.
We'd never
Just a
played
jam.
any of them before. We just jammed them in the studio. And then, so that's how that came about.
And if you are just tuning in, you are listening to the Health and Wellness Show here on COARadio.com. We are in studio right now with the legendary rock band Nectar, and you could be part of the show and call in and be able to talk to them directly by dialing 609-241-7103. Now, if you are conquering addictions, if you, a loved one, or you yourself are struggling with addiction, help is available 24 hours a day. You can call 609-910-4942 and you can get help. And that is City of Angels, one of our biggest problems here in the state of New Jersey and nationwide is addiction. But there is help. Do not be ashamed. Come forward. Help a loved one. If you don't know how, please call the City of Angels. Again, it's 609-910-4942. You can also visit them at the web at cityofangelsnj.org. You can click on donation tab, enter any denomination, and in the special instructions, if you put donation for Health and Wellness Show, we will make you an official sponsor of the Health and Wellness Show for 30 days. And City of Angels is so incredible. They take all those donations and give them back to the help of the families. So please, again, if you need help, call 609-910-4942. And we have our very first caller for the Health and Wellness Show for Nectar. I hear the phone ringing. So without further ado, you are live on the air on the Health and Wellness Show. Who is this?
This is Dr. Drayton, Mr. Smoke Patterson. How are
Dr.
you?
Drayton Patterson, how are you?
I'm fine. It is Maryann Castello, the award-winning author there.
Yes, and folks, if you don't know who Drayton Patterson is, I met him also on the red carpet in Hollywood. He's also written several books. He's also works with Major League Baseball teams, and you're always out and about, and I'm so happy you are tuning into the show, Drayton, tonight.
Well, thank you so much. How are you been?
I've been doing really well, and our special guests tonight are the legendary rock band Nectar. They're doing their 50th anniversary tour, and did you want to...
Congratulations to the legendary rock band. That's wonderful. I know you have a lot of great guests. I wanted to talk with you about some health wellness, if I could, very quickly.
Sure.
Great. Listen, I am a board member, and I'm an ambassador and in charge of the mental health and holistic resources for the American Association of Professional Baseball Players. I've worked with different ball players, different baseball players who have been released from their contracts, whether they be in the major leagues of professional baseball or in the minor leagues of professional baseball. And I don't know if you've had any contact with different players besides myself, but to be released from your contract and not knowing what you're going to do, you have a lot of feelings of helplessness and hopelessness, and a lot of times the ball players are injured. They have all kinds of physical ailments, and I know that Neo Zoe, your organization, does a lot of work with people who are experiencing physical illnesses. And what I would like to do is I would like to invite you to be one of our referral systems in the New Jersey area. I've been asked by the president of the association, his name is Bobby Grich. I don't know if you've got any baseball fans out there, but Bobby Grich potentially will be a Hall of Famer one of these days.
Sure.
He played second base for the Baltimore Orioles and the California Angels back in the 80s. And he's the president of the organization, and we're doing a lot of things with health and wellness. We're doing things with stem cells. We're helping a lot of players who have problems with their knees and their backs and their shoulders, very much like I do. That's what ended my baseball career. And I know that you do a lot of Reiki and massage therapy, aromatherapy. You're very holistic in your approach. And being a psychologist, I'm very holistic in my approach and helping people. The physical, the mind-body is very closely related.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wanted to invite you to be one of our referrals, because we do have a number of ball players in the New Jersey area. And if you'd like to know anything more about it, feel free to ask me right now if you like.
Well, I'm very honored that you would like me to be part of that. I would absolutely love to be a part of it. And while you're calling in, I know that there's several baseball fans in this room right now, correct? I see.
Oh, yeah.
Mo here is
yeah.
also, he loves the Yankees.
I'm a big Yankee fan.
He's a big Yankee fan and all. And I would absolutely love to be a part of that. And I would love to give you a call and get that started, and we can work together. And I'm honored, very honored that you are asking me to do that.
Well, I told Bobby, and I told our executive director, her name is Jennifer Madison, and I had a 2-hour-plus conference call earlier today, and we were talking about a more holistic approach in helping these ball players, because, again, I've been there. I know what it's like to be on top and everybody wants you, and I know what it's like to be injured and then nobody wants to be a part of you at all. And we're finding, especially right now, your baseball players or baseball fans in the room know that this is the end of the baseball season, and many players' contracts are not going to be renewed, and they're going to have to find something else to do. A lot of the players are high school graduates and no more education than that, because at 18 they go right into the minor leagues and they play for 3, 4, 5 years. They get injured and it's goodbye. And if they haven't learned to save their money, and if they hadn't had a big contract, you've got a 24, 25-year-old man out on the streets there, and he does not have anything else to do.
Right.
So they have a lot of feelings of helplessness, and again, they're trying to get their knees healthy and well, and their backs healthy and well again, and their shoulders healthy and well, just to do regular, everyday tasks.
Right.
So I told them about you and your health and wellness show, and I also talked to them about Neo Zoe. I led them to your website.
Thank you.
And they're very excited about what you can bring to the table for our organization. So again, I'd just like to extend that invitation to you. We'd love for you to be part of it. We definitely need somebody in the New Jersey area. And
thank you
I know
so
you and I have
very
talked before about doing some things together. I didn't know how it would come together, but I knew it would happen one of these days. But again, we would really like to have you aboard, and you will be nicely compensated for your work with any of our ball players who are in need of your service.
Well, thank you so much, Drayton. I will be in touch with you. And thank you for sharing so much about your organization. And again, I'm very honored to be a part of that. And I will be in touch. And thank you so much for calling the Health and Wellness Show here on COARadio.com. Thank
And
you.
congratulations to you all. Congratulations to the great band members. You guys are outstanding. You take care of yourselves. You have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. You
Thank you
too.
very much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Let's go,
Good
Mets.
luck. Good luck.
Thank you.
Oh, Mets.
Thank you.
Well, see, you could call in and join the show too. Thank you, Drayton Paradison, for calling in. It's so great to hear from you. And
Give them the
speaking,
number again.
I am. It's 609-241-7103. And speaking, since he started the subject, I might as well go right there. You know, everybody, you guys have been together a very long time. And some of you have had some health challenges, as we all have. And if you want to share any with our listeners, because what I think is great is I think music can be very, very healing. And I think when you have the drive and you're going to go back on tour, it's kind of like you had some miracles in this band here. I mean, Ronnie, you're definitely one of them. I know that. And if you'd like to share some parts of it and how you use music and your thought process and all to help in healing, that would be great.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing, strange thing about the whole time I was in hospital was, I always thought that I was going to get out. There was not one moment that I thought, this is the last room I'm going to see or anything like that. I always had this attitude that I got more gigs to do.
Right.
I can't let them down, you know what I mean? So, but really, yeah, it was my frame of mind I thought was very good, healthy.
Which is good.
Yes.
Because you need
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And you know what? In seeing you play, because these guys have such a grueling schedule. I mean, I'm part of it, so I see it. But you guys literally put your blood, sweat, and tears. And just recently, you guys were at the wonderful Shorefire Studios in Long Branch, New Jersey, recording your new album, which is due out in January, a double vinyl album. And there is the owner, Joseph DeMeo. He's a wonderful individual that we've all been able to work with. He was incredible.
Great engineer.
He's all right.
Yeah.
He's fantastic and works every step of the way. And
A lot of,
You
a
could-
lot of analog gear in that place too.
absolutely, Richie. I mean, that studio was very, very different than, some studios that you see. And sorry for the term, but more like old school. It was really fantastic. The atmosphere. And even when you walk in there, it kind of has like that certain smell. You know what I'm talking
It has
about?
a vibe.
Yeah,
It
they've been there
does. It's
since-
just really good. And I don't mean a bad
Yeah,
smell.
that's George
Looks and
going.
George is like laughing back
Yeah, the
there.
bathroom was a ways
The,
away.
the smell of music.
Smell the music. Well, yeah, had this.
But it was really good. But the one thing that you guys did is, if people don't know this, when you're making an album, kind of what Mo was alluding to, that you spent 72 hours back then straight, it was really grueling. It's like you guys got up, you had like a small routine, you got to the studio, you guys really hardly took a break. You were sitting there, you were working together. And it's really, I don't think people understand how much goes into making an album.
Well, we actually play together in basic tracks. A lot of this album now is still that basic track vibe, especially Ronnie. The drums, it was all live.
Yeah.
So
One and done Ron.
yeah, right, Mo.
No cut
I
and
think
paste.
I think that live basic tracks make the album feel better than just playing. You play it until it's right. You put a click track down. Make sure you play it on the click track. You gotta make sure it's
Yeah.
all perfect.
It doesn't work for us.
I don't think that worked. No work for me. That's for sure.
Doesn't have the feeling.
Yeah, don't have the.
You have to
feeling.
feel the music, not
Yeah,
think about it.
I think so. And I think, for me anyway, playing it live is the way to do it.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
No
Well-
doubt, and akin to just the Nectar way, we all had lyrics coming, like during the sessions. I had a few lyrics of not knowing what I was singing yet, and so did you. Yes, I
Yeah.
mean we did. So Mick was always hard at work back there, saying, "Oh, wait, try this."
Gotta do this. Gotta do that.
Well, any time that Nectar makes a record, at least when I've been with the band, I've tried to make the lyrics say something that I might be able to interpret visually. I don't try and make it difficult on myself, so I try and make it easy on myself. So I try and stick to abstract subjects.
Yeah.
Which is why Journey to the Center of the Eye was about, space.
Space. Yeah.
Where else can you go? Well, we don't know. What's unknown? Okay, let's go underwater. That's why Tab in the Ocean was the next
Right,
one.
right.
So we went to underwater. That was a green set on stage,
Yeah.
and so forth. And the
And then-
circus.
What happens in a circus?
Well, we just show a lot of elephants
It is a
and
circus.
trapeze artists and dancers and clowns
Elephants.
and
Elephants.
lots of
Yeah.
elephants.
Nelly the elephant.
Yep.
Well, I'm very honored because tonight, Mo, you walked in with something very, very special that you handed out.
Brand
and for
new.
all of you that are watching on YouTube or listening on radio, I am holding in my hand a very brand new single that you're releasing for Nectar, and it's Skywriter. And it's really a touching song. And I kind of want to know, before we let our listeners hear it, what inspired this song? What is this song about? What is it expressing?
Well, originally, back in 1977, 78,
Yeah,
it was Sky Pilot, and I sort of liked it, but it didn't. There was something missing with Sky Pilot. It had got a lot of music around it, and it felt really good, but there was something missing. And then Ryche threw in a couple of verses.
Yes.
And then it started to feel like a song.
Yes.
And we used my chorus and bridge in your verses.
Yes.
And then Mick and I and Ryche sat down and wrote. I think you might have thrown a word or two.
Yeah. So it's Kendall.
Word or two.
Yeah.
Maybe two.
But you know, we write very differently to most of the bands. We'll get the music, and we'll feel the music where it is, and then we'll sit and the words just come to you.
They come to you. It's amazing. It's not, and it's not what you may think it is. It's not like, well, this like a bunch of wordsmiths trying to find the right word. Those words come.
Yeah, they do.
They come.
I see music in color.
Yeah,
You do, Mick.
I
I
do
know.
see music in color.
We were writing in my office, and I went to make a cup of coffee, and I got to the coffee machine the other end of the house, and a line suddenly came to me, and I ran to the office and said, Mick, write this down. And that was one of the lines for one.
Yeah.
I don't remember what song it was, but
You know what they say, that the word is let. You know, you're not closed. You're like kind of open to something, and it's
totally
something that downloads. Or,
Allow it in. Allow it in.
Allow it
Don't
in.
So
try
anyway,
and find it inside.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not there. It's out there. It's
Yeah,
coming.
yeah.
Skywriter, which is eventually, we called it Sky Pilot still for a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, a sky rider, a skydiver.
Yeah, right.
There was a lot.
And we came up with a Skywriter. And what Skywriter is all about is the guy's wife, girlfriend, mother, significant other dies. And he is trying to sort his life out, trying to think, you know, oh, woe is me. And he goes up in the sky and he writes letters in the sky hoping that she sees it. But he doesn't know that she's seen it, but she's seen it.
Right.
He also doesn't talk about airplanes.
Yes.
But somehow he's up there in the sky writing these words. And the whole album is about the other side.
Yes.
So you have a lot of these songs that the Devil's Door, you know, the escape from the Devil's Door, drifting, floating in space. The whole album is about the other side.
Right, and tonight you brought with you Skywriter, so we can listen to it for our listeners.
Yeah, yeah.
And because in the classical form of Nectar, we'd like to play the long version of the song if we can.
You got to play the long version.
You have to on here, and I know that you have that all ready for us. So for you listening at home, you're tuning into the Health and Wellness Show here, COARadio.com. And right now, for your listening ears, here is Nectar's new single, guaranteed to be a hit, Skywriter.
that life's so easy. No one
Yeah, and you just listened to Nectar's new single, Skywriter. That is a wonderful song, guys. It really is. Takes you on a little journey in there. It really is. Thank you so much for letting us hear that, and for basically telling everybody, what's going on inside Nectar. We have so much more to get to. And if you're just tuning in, you're listening to the Health and Wellness Show here on COARadio.com. You can talk to Nectar directly by dialing 609-241-7103. And I'd like to get to one of our sponsors, and that is the High-Tech Glow Buds. High-Tech Glow Buds, safety and sound, high-performance audio for outdoor joggers, bicycling, and all sports. High-Tech brand of earphones are designed and manufactured with electroluminescent technology. Glow Bud earphones emit a safe and bright neon light that with the touch of a button will flicker neon lighting along to your favorite tunes, such as Skywriter by Nectar. In addition, for an enhanced audio experience, they added in high-performance studio drivers designed to their specification for churning out amazingly clear and vibrant highs and bottoms to create one of the best sports earphones for indoor and outdoor use. Day or night, on the market today. Now you can feel safe at night with enhanced visibility for walking and talking, jogging, and being seen by street traffic wearing their Sports Talk Glow Buds. Hear, and see the difference. You can get your pair today through your distributor by visiting What's On Sale. That's WATTS onsale.com. And gentlemen, we've had these. These are fabulous. And on compliments of High-Tech Glow Buds and Mark Biner, who did it, I have a little bit of a surprise for you under the table.
Under the table.
Under the table, that is correct. Where we are going to pass them down, but compliments of High-Tech, Nectar each gets their own pair. Wow. So then this way you can listen to your new hit single while you are on your way to rehearsal, correct? And I have one for you, Mo. And I think that's for everybody.
Right.
So thank you so much, High-Tech, and for helping us here and being a sponsor on COARadio.com. So now, next time at rehearsal, guys, I want to see you all with your blinking lights, have them nice and charged up. They are absolutely fantastic. And again, you could score your pair by visiting their website at www.whatsonsale, WATTS Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, High-Tech.
So this way you guys have something.
Yeah, these are very cool too. They sound great and they light up and blink.
They absolutely do.
See, back in the 70s, though, glow buds had a completely different meaning.
Yes, they did. And we also had glow worms. Do you remember them things?
Yes.
I'm trying to change that up,
I know,
Randy.
Yes. There you go.
Don't wear them in the car at night, though, because the cops will pull you over.
What are you doing?
Don't tell them that.
Which I think is great. Well, getting back to here, everybody just heard Skywriter, and we were talking about your in-studio experience this time around and the grueling schedules. So just for some of our listeners, because it is health and wellness here, when you guys are in that rigorous schedule, because I've seen you guys have woke up, you go to the studio, you work, you come back, and even when you're back outside the studio, you set up a home studio, if you will, and listen to the work that you did that day so you know if you had to go in, change anything, play it over, if you didn't like it, because I've seen some things like, I don't like it, we got to go back in and do it. And then get some sleep and do it all over again. And when you're doing this day after day after day, how did you guys keep yourself, going, shall I say, even towards the
Let me
end?
say something real quick. And you guys, I know you want to talk too. Mo had the idea just to get a house down there and completely immerse ourselves in this entire thing. We would have been a lot more tired if we had to drive every day and do this kind of stuff. We were in it, man. Go back in your heads at the house. We were in it. It just became what it was.
I think what Mo was trying to accomplish is what it was like back in the old days when
Right, yeah.
you were in your 20s. We were in our 20s and footloose and carefree and didn't have obligations and families and responsibilities and just be immersed in the music, which I thought was
great.
was fantastic.
Yeah, me too.
And Maryann, to me, I mean, I've got a regular job. That was not work to me. That was, you know,
That was fun.
that was fun.
Yeah.
It was
right.
fun.
You know,
And you know what?
And how many sandwiches did you
Well,
make?
that's
I
the
was
thing.
gonna bring that up.
George is back there holding a sign up for me to say this. Is that we wanted to keep you guys fed and energized. So what they would do is they would go to the studio, and I took their orders, and I would sit there and make sandwiches. And by the end of the week, I stopped counting at 107 over like this 2-week period. I never made that many sandwiches. in my
Thank
life.
you. Thank
That
you.
was, that was, that was
Mo's got a funny story about the
They were all
bread
good sandwiches.
and Nikki and the bread pieces.
Oh yeah, yeah. So we're packing up to go home, and I pull this bag out of the cupboard, and it's all the crusts,
It's all the end
All
pieces.
the end pieces of the bread.
all the end pieces of the bread. That's the best part of the bread.
Nobody ate it.
I took it home and we ate it at home.
Well, nobody wanted it, so every loaf that I got, because
You
I would
didn't
go
ask
through
me.
like 2
Took
loaves
it
of
out.
bread a day to make these sandwiches, I would just take the ends out and kept putting them in another
Right.
bread bag. And
Yeah.
Mo took it
You
home.
would have eaten
that's
it.
funny.
He
Well,
would
I took it home and we ate it.
I saw Mo's wife a couple of days after we all got back. She actually came to my store real quick and to drop something off, and she said, you know, did he tell you about the bread? And I said, no, what bread? She said, well, I went to go make a sandwich. I pulled out of the bread box, and it was a loaf of end bits, the whole thing. And she was like,
Never
well,
seen
crust. Like, where did you get this? What store was this? So that to me, that's the funny part, is
That's
when
funny.
Nikki goes to the bread box.
She thought you could
Nothing
buy
but
it like
ends of
that.
bread.
What a way you can buy it.
Making you buy
Oh, yeah, you
some
think about that. You know, you think about it.
But I didn't want to waste it. And every
Well,
time
right,
I seen
no.
them, I'm like, what am I going to do with this? So I just kept throwing them. I'm glad you took them home and enjoyed it, though. That makes me feel better because I didn't want to waste it. So, but
It was a great time, guys, and we had a
was.
great time.
The
you know?
rock and roll
If
life
it
of
wasn't fun,
bread
it wouldn't have
crust.
been as good as it was.
Yeah.
yeah,
You have to make it fun.
it was fun.
And we used to do that out on the road back in the 70s too. We'd tape the show, go back to the hotel room, we'd play it back in the hotel room.
Yeah, that was so helpful.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you hear good parts. We used to play when we were writing back in the day. We'd think nothing of playing 10, 12 hours.
Yep.
And you know, listening to it and saying, oh, I like that bit there, and that'll go with this bit over here.
Yeah.
You know, that's how we wrote music.
yeah.
Like,
Still do.
Yeah, still
Still
do.
It's
do.
modular.
Still do. Modular.
Yeah.
Modular music.
It's
That's what it
fluid,
is,
man.
yeah.
It's fluid.
Yeah.
And not just music. You guys were also had the light shows that added to all the stage performances, and it was a nice addition and probably something very different. And Mick, I know that you were doing those light shows. Tell us a little bit about your background with the light shows, and how you captured the music of Nectar through the musical light theater.
I didn't capture the music of Nectar. The music of Nectar just came about.
Okay.
It evolved. Let's put it that way.
And what did you do?
What was I doing?
Yes.
Well, I was giving them ideas of what to play, what to write.
But you're very
they
visual.
were coming up. Yes,
You're very visual because everything that
it
we're
came,
doing. Yeah.
I started doing light shows around London, and I was the home light show at the Roundhouse in London, which is where the recording was later on. And a lot of bands went through there: Pink Floyd, Nice, Jethro Tull, Pretty Things, you know. And then I started doing festivals, and then I started doing discotheques, and I ended up in Germany, gigging around, and that's where I bumped into Mo, and we hit it off. He liked what I was doing, and I liked what they were playing. And when my light show truck froze in Stuttgart, it was right before Christmas. I said, hell with this, let's go back to England and have Christmas at home. So we dumped the truck. I don't know what happened to that truck. But all the equipment I put into the club, and the owner said he'd look after it for me. And went back to England, and now my gear was in Germany. I was in England, so I called up Mo. How did it come about? Well, I was doing light shows, as I said, bands like Pink Floyd, so I had a lot of spacey slides, so might as well use them. "Oh, Tommy just did an opera."
Yeah,
Oh,
but the
Tommy
Purple
opera.
Fingers, Mick.
The Purple Fingers.
They were
Purple
the
Fingers.
best.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
well, they're still there.
You saw
I
people,
still have 55 years later, and I'm still doing the Purple Fingers.
Yes.
What a purple finger.
You
When-
will
Yes,
see.
that's-
You will see the
I'll
Purple
see.
Fingers.
When-
Anybody that comes
when
to
people saw
Rahway
that,
on the 13th of October,
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Progstock, folks, come to
Progstock.
Progstock.
We'll
The
see the
Brockett
purple
style.
fingers.
they will see the Purple
You will
Fingers.
see the purple
They might see the orange fingers. they
That's
might see the
October
yellow fingers.
13th. We'll be there. We're playing at 5 o'clock.
I've seen the red finger, but I haven't seen the purple finger.
The red fingers, well, I have the purple fingers too. After the show,
It was a
my
joke.
hands are purple. No,
Yeah.
no,
I'm sure they are.
The purple fingers actually follow the music
yeah.
because light is much faster than
Then sound.
Right.
Thank
You
God.
can listen to the sound and play the slide,
Mm-hmm.
and it's in time with the music because of the difference in the speed between sound and light.
The further back I go,
The more at a
the
time.
more out of time it
Time
gets.
it is.
But it's a craft that you do. You know,
Absolutely.
not everybody can go out because you have many bands. You know, that could go out and say, "Hey, we have this light show. Yours is very unique in the approach that you do."
I haven't seen anybody do anything like I do.
You should be specific. Like you're using liquid lights.
I am using
All right.
liquids.
Thank you, Randy.
But in a way that other people haven't used them before.
And how do you do it?
If I told you that, I'd have to kill you all.
Or well,
You have
No,
to come
how do
see
I
it.
do it?
Come
No,
see it.
you have to come and see it.
Yeah.
It's very simple.
When that comes on the
it's so
screen,
simple.
everybody's face went, wow.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
And on top of the liquids follow the music, so I had to have something that would describe the lyrics. So then I started doing backdrops, not just all we had back in the early days were slides. We didn't even have carousel projectors; they were single slides. One slide, second slide, then slide back, put that in, change it, put that one back. So we needed 3 people to run the light show.
Right.
When I joined up back with Nektar, I was by myself, but I had 7 projectors. I couldn't operate all 7 by myself, so I had a friend come over, Keith Waters. He joined us for about 18 months. He was with us, and then I figured I could do it with foot switches. So I made a foot pedal board and started operating it by myself.
put him out of a job, huh?
No, he wanted to
Modern
go back home.
technology.
No, he fell in love with this beautiful lady, Christiane. In fact, we never saw him when he was home. And then they went home and got married. And as far as I know, he's teaching in Portugal somewhere right now. But he was quite happy to leave. And I just kept developing it. And it went from 16 millimeter movies to VHS. And now, 18 years after the VHS segment, we're going to laptops. So you'll see the new and the old
Together.
together. And it should be interesting.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, you guys
forward to
out
it.
there, you've got to come to the Performing Arts Centre in Rahway. The festival's called Progstock, and it starts on Friday and runs through Sunday. And we're playing
Sunday.
on Sunday at 5 o'clock. So we can get to bed early.
Yeah, because we're old people. We like to get to bed about 9 o'clock.
Well, speaking of that, before we start talking about all your shows, because I think this is great, let's talk about Roy for one moment, because it's going to get back to your single here.
Yes.
He was the front man for Nektar, and all the fans know that he has passed away in 2016. And what I see on social media, things like that, there was so much love for Roy, and that he was, you know, one of the best guitarists in some people's eyes that ever lived. It was great and everything. And now you're going out on tour, you know, without Roy. And I know that you've honored him, which I'm going to have you talk about.
He's with us.
He is always with us.
He's with us.
And
Absolutely with us.
exactly. And I'd like, if you can, there is a song on this new single, the side B, if you will, and it is called Devil's Door. And tell us, the listeners, how it evolved in the studio, because it gives you chills. It's a really cool idea of what you guys did, and as a tribute to Roy, to make him part of the new record and to make him part of this tour.
I can throw in something there because back in 2005, I was going through some old tapes, and I used to record all the shows, and I had quite a good collection. And The Devil's Door was on one of the tapes. It was actually on 2 tapes, but only one good recording. And I thought it was such a shame, it was such a good song, that it would get forgotten. So I started to put a compilation of songs that Nektar had written and had never gone into the studio with. And the album I called Door to the Future, and it was started off with The Devil's Door, and it went through a lot of other songs and ended up with Remember the Future, the ending. And I thought at least people would hear it.
Right.
Well, when it came to doing this album, we only had about 3 sides of vinyl, and we needed to fill it up. So I said, well, why don't we try and remake Devil's Door?
Yep.
And that's actually how it started to come about.
Yep.
And what we did, we took the original recording that I had of Roy, and on that recording, which was recorded by Vinny, our sound man, who also passed away, so it's in memoriam of him, the very beginning of Devil's Door, the stereo mix goes from left to right, left to right. That is Vinny. That's Vinny's fingers doing that, and it's Roy's guitar, it's Roy's voice.
Yeah.
And it brings it all together, but the whole band played in time with the original recording. We faded the original out, and it left the present in.
Yeah, I think we hadn't planned on doing it that way, but when we decided, we were sat in the studio and we decided that we would give it a listen before we went in and played it, and the guitar was so crystal clear.
It was a great recording.
Unbelievable sound.
It was great.
And I said, why don't we just use it? Why don't we use the beginning and his
Play into
voice
it.
and everything and play with it?
I think that's going to be on film too. That's
Yeah,
that
it's
was
on.
filmed.
Yeah. Well, everybody was enthusiastic about it.
Yeah, yeah.
So I immediately texted Lynn Albrighton, Roy's wife in England, and asked her if it would be okay for us to do that, and she was thrilled.
Yes.
And so that's what we did. We used that beginning, and we played to it. We wrote words that it didn't have any words really.
We
Back in
rewrote it.
74, so we rewrote the words, and we rewrote the chorus because the chorus was way too high for anybody to sing.
To sing. Oh, we were 20 years old when that was recorded.
Really, yeah.
So hard to believe. Yeah, it's crazy.
Recently, jumping forward, I sent Lynn a copy of the song, and she wrote back to me. Hold on a minute, I have it.
He's gonna go.
Quotation.
She said, "Wow, ooh, thanks, Mo, fantastic. You defo have a winner there. Wonderful. Can't wait to hear the album. You have an earworm there. It's already in my head. Nektar's alive and kicking." That's direct from
Oh, that's
Roy's
huge.
wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
We all got choked up.
Yes.
I had tears in my eyes when you suggested it, and it sounded so good.
It sounded right. It
yeah,
sounded. That's what we should do.
Marriage.
And it is the other side.
Yeah.
Yes.
So noises from the other side.
That's right.
Well, I'd love to share that with our listeners, everything that you just heard about this song. This is called Devil's Door, the B-side of their new single. And I think you will find it just fascinating that you're hearing it.
There's a whistle right at the very beginning from the audience.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's
Where is
live.
he now?
Yeah.
So here
I
we
wonder
go.
who whistled.
Devil's Door. And ladies and gentlemen, that's Nektar's Devil's Door that you just heard about. And it's fantastic. It's chilling because we did hear the whistle. Did everybody else hear the whistle? I did. Yeah. You don't know who whistled, huh?
Somebody in the audience.
Somebody in the audience
Mine.
whistled.
That's awesome.
That live tape had a twist in it.
Absolutely.
It was on a cassette. On the original Door to the Future CD that went out, not many were sold. I don't know how many were sold. I apologize for the twist in the tape. We tried to iron it. We tried to do a lot of things.
Well, I do know that we do have somebody who's been very patient on hold, waiting to talk to Nektar here on the Health and Wellness Show. And you are live on the air. Who is this?
This is the magical Dr. Sani.
Dr. Sani, how are you doing?
I'm good. You're here for your checkup?
Well, I don't know, but maybe the band is. Dr. Ramesh Sani is one of the top pain management doctors in New York. We work with him a lot. He's extremely gifted. He also works alongside with City of Angels. But most of all, he is a music lover. He comes out to all the concerts and planning to come see you guys. And Dr. Sani, thank you so much for joining the show and welcome. And what would you like to talk to Nektar about?
Well, I'd like to hear about your future plans and the band's inspiration and where they think they're going to take their music next. And can I produce their next album?
He is a producer.
Absolutely.
We try and produce it ourselves, you know. In fact,
So where are we going with this?
So
the music is absolutely fabulous.
Thank you. We're going to be on Sunday, October 13th. We're going to be at the Progstock Festival in Rahway, New Jersey, where we're going to have, there's going to be VIP breakfasts and sound check with Nektar on both Saturday and Sunday. You can go to progstock.com and you can get that. You also have the limited edition 3-song, 22-minute single, which we never do anything short, which will be on sale at Progstock at the Union County Performing Arts Center in Rahway on the 11th, 12th, and 13th. And it's also going to be online at www.nektarsmusic.com. And it's also going to be available, we believe, on Amazon. That's what we're going to try and do. Then the next time we play out will be in January. We're going to do January 8th will be Sellersville Theatre in Sellersville, PA. And January 9th, we're doing Kennett Flash. We're doing a intimate tour. It's going to be small, 150 to 400 people, because our fans have waited for a long time.
a lot of them have died, I think.
Yeah, I guess a lot of them are dead. Well, a lot of them are on the other side, which is where we are.
Pain management. That's the
Yeah, right. And we're gonna be playing a lot of small places around the country, so that we can bring the music intense light show to our fans. The 9th we're doing Kennett Flash in Kennett Square, PA. There are other gigs we're not announcing yet until after Progstock. And January 15th and 16th we're at the Iridium in New York. 2 shows. Possibly 3, possibly 4. It's only 150 seats, so they're planning to do other shows. So that's where we are in the immediate future. Next year we're hoping to go to Mexico. We're going to Chile. We're going to go to Europe, all over Europe, and maybe Japan. We're going to take our music on a 50th anniversary everywhere where Nektar fans want to hear us. Basically, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, very exciting.
Yeah.
Japan's a great venue, by the way. It's an amazing venue.
Well, I think, our fans have been with us 50 years. I mean, there's a long time when there was nothing happening, and they're still with us. We're in touch. Social media today is such that we can talk to our fans all over the world, which is fantastic. Mm-hmm. But they were always there. We just couldn't talk to them. Now we can talk to them. It's really very satisfying. Very satisfying.
Now we got
I
some
mean,
new
you're
music.
inspiring a lot of people and a new generation that's coming on board.
Well,
So,
that we're hoping to do. We're certainly going to try.
Yeah, I think you're already doing it, but getting the word out in a bigger way, and any way I can contribute, you know, you have my total support.
Well, I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Any help we can get,
Nice to
we would
hear.
love to have.
And he also has worked with some musicians. Dr. Swanee, why don't you tell Nectar a little bit about you and some people?
I'm a very, very old soul. So, who was I with lately? I was with Edge I think in October. We were at the Nobel committee, the Nobel Awards, and one of our friends got the Nobel Prize, and Edge flew in, and so we spent a little time. My history is, as you probably know, I'm an old Indian. So us old Indians have a lot of friends. So, you know, Ryche will tell you my relationship with
Yes,
with George.
Dr.
you know.
Asani and I and Maryann are friends, and he's so excited about Nectar. I'm sure he's going to come and see
absolutely.
us. He's a great friend of George Harrison. Back. So
Who Ryche also paid homage to.
yes.
Yeah. And there's a lot happening with that. I mean, there's a kind of a resurgence with the Beatles music. Of course, Dave Mason and we go back 35, 40 years, and I produced his last album. And actually have a lot of old Traffic songs that we never released. I just thought nobody wanted to listen to Traffic anymore. And I think it's much like Nectar. You know, it kind of caught me by surprise that people still listen to the music. I thought I was the only one listening. But apparently there's a lot of hidden gems out there that people need to be exposed to.
No,
So,
absolutely.
yeah, the relationship with George and I was a very solid relationship, and with Dave Mason and a whole host of other musicians that I've worked with and still stay in contact with.
You're a man of many talents, Dr.
Well,
Swanee.
we hope to see you at a show, Doc. We would love to see
No,
you.
no, but you know I'll be there, and Nina will be there, and we'll probably bring about 20 or 30 other dedicated listeners who want to hear everyone play.
He does
Awesome.
that.
Yes,
He
thank
does
you.
bring a group with
He
him
does, he
everywhere he
does,
goes.
It does. I've seen it.
We need doctors and lawyers.
Doctors on call. Bring your
So
bag.
that speaks to the age, right?
Yeah.
But you know what? Dr. Swanee, be very proud that I have seen this band change their ways a little bit, where I am going to reveal something here.
She converted us.
Yeah, it's because every time they were at a rehearsal, you know, everybody would be so excited to get to rehearsal, they would forget to bring good food. So we would have bagels, and then somehow it converted into, you know, a box of Joe and a dozen donuts, and then from there it would
Sounds
evolve into a
familiar.
pizza and all this stuff. And they were sitting there one day going, you know, as you're falling asleep after this, saying, we can't keep doing this. We'll be rolling off the stage. What are we doing? So I am proud to say that even last week while I was at rehearsal, it was so refreshing that when they said we have to take a break, and I see, you know, Kendall here, he goes in his bag and he gets those little snack packs of just the tuna fish with the 8 grams of protein instead of the carbs. And then I see Ryche go in and grab his little pouch of salmon. And then you can see Mo with his hummus and his carrots and his salad.
Well, Mo started it too. Mo.
Yeah, then you
He's
don't
been
see
doing
all the.
I just
very
grab a
innovative.
brick of
Junk
lard
food.
and eat it.
Then on the side.
I still had a bagel.
Randy, we're trying to
Me too.
convert you.
I'm holding the
You're
line.
getting us.
He is.
Yeah, but if we ate as many bagels as you did, we would be big, but you are skinny.
Well,
For some reason.
in one area, there's a. I got the bellies. Whatever.
It's called
Oh, okay.
metabolism.
So,
Yeah,
Dr.
metabolism.
Swanee, you know, yes, will they need probably a doctor on board? Of course, we all do, you know, but I do have to say, all of these gentlemen here have made strides to really get themselves in shape, boxer weight and all that stuff for going on tour. And when you see how fast these gentlemen play their instruments with some of these songs and the duration of them and the stamina, it is incredible. You just never, unless you see it in person, you would not believe what I am privy to. And I'm absolutely honored that you guys let me into your world. But they've converted themselves, Dr. Swanee.
No, they're inspirational. You guys are really a great group, great musicians, and great people. So you've got it all.
Thank you.
They,
Thank you.
they
Thank
really
you.
are, and
Thank
super
you.
talented. And Dr. Sawney, thank you so much for
Thanks.
always
Thank you, Doctor.
supporting, Richie, his endeavors, my endeavors, City of Angels, are everybody. You really are an exceptional human being, and your wife Nina
But
as well.
it all comes from these wonderful friends that I have. So people like you and Richie, they create the person that I might be or would like to be. But you guys really are those people.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to call us here on the Health and Wellness Show. And it's such an honor again to have you on the show as well. Thank you so much for your
Thank you for
support.
having me.
And we
Okay,
can't wait to
take care.
see you at the shows.
We'll see you soon.
Thanks for listening.
Oh, you will, definitely.
Thank
Too
you
much, you'll see too much of me. Yeah.
so much of
Okay.
so.
Take care.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Thank you.
But I do also want to say, if you want to call into the show like Dr. Sawney just did, you can do so at 609-241-7103. And right now, I would also like to tell you about another sponsor, and that Nectar is involved with as well. And we are proud. It's called IndieCast TV. Making money as an indie artist just got easier. Your fans will be able to find you anywhere, as IndieCast TV soon can be seen on Kodi, Roku, and Apple TV, as well as IndieCastTV.com. If your music video makes the IndieCast TV Top 150, it will air on their IndieCast 24-hour linear channel, broadcasting worldwide. Each time your video airs, you will receive 25 cents per play for the very first play. If you're an indie artist, you can visit their website for more exciting details. IndieCast TV, what music television should be. Visit them on the web, www.indiecasttv.com. And when you view shortly, you may see this group of gentlemen that I am with on that channel, and they could be your inspiration. So IndieCast TV, music television, what it should be. So thank you, IndieCast, for also being a sponsor of the Health and Wellness Show. And you gentlemen, I know that when you were in the Surefire Studios, we had some fun with our friend Jay Petsko as well, and took some video for IndieCast, so stay tuned for that. I think you guys will be really excited. But one person I'd like to bring up that we haven't mentioned, and because it is a new studio for him as well, is our friend Dr. Benjamin Mead from Cosmic Cowboy. He is our Cosmic Cowboy, right?
He's definitely our Cosmic Cowboy.
Yep.
Without Ben,
Yeah.
He's the Cosmic Cowboy.
Yeah.
No, he's-
Without Ben and Ed,
And yeah,
we couldn't have done this.
yes.
No.
Big
we had to do this ourselves.
Yeah, we
To do it right.
yeah
Right.
to do it how we wanted it to
Yeah.
do, we had to basically get it financed, other than the record company, so we could do it how we wanted to do. And Ben stepped up big time, helping us get it all off the ground. And Ed threw in some money too. He did the cover of the new single as well for no money.
Yes.
He just everybody coming out of the woodwork to help this band has been
Yeah.
incredible. Been incredible.
Yeah, I've never seen it
No,
before
no, me
like
neither.
this.
Yeah, we did a Kickstarter, and the fans were kicking money in, and it was great. It was.
Yes.
I mean, I really. They know that we want to do this. They know that we want to get out there and give them a hell of a show, and they put their hands in the pockets to help us. That's huge. It's huge.
And they did it in the
Yes.
short time that we had on Kickstarter, the 60 days.
Yeah.
And people were so nice with just what you said, to dig into their pockets and be able to support Nectar and in their endeavors. And if you could share where that money will help support Nectar and how you'll be using those funds, because it was so generous of everyone.
Well, it's helping us put get some of the musical things that we need. We've basically not been on the road for years.
Paid for the studio
Yeah.
ourselves.
Pays for the studio, paid for the mixing.
Mixing.
As soon as we got the
house.
final, we knew that
House.
paid for the house. We had to rent a house down there so we could be near the studio. It paid for us to go back in and do mixing. It's paying for some of the stage gear that we need.
Some gear.
And some gear. and it'll be paying for some projectors we need with for the light show.
We couldn't have done it
We
without
could
them.
not have done it without you guys. If any of you are listening to me, it's wonderful what you guys did.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
we're definitely going to pay you back.
Well,
Hello.
definitely. Hello, you're on here live with the Health and Wellness Show. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, it's Jay. I wanted to say hi to you guys.
Hey, Jay, hey!
Hey, Jay.
Great.
I was hoping I would see you
Yeah,
today.
we miss
Yeah.
They've all been
You know,
asking.
I
for-
wanted to come, but I'm actually working on some projects that keep me a little busy. So I felt that to be more important at this time. But the one thing I wanted to say to like anybody listening out there, because you guys got a taste of Devil's Door, but you know, any Nectar fans that are like listening to this, and you guys are going to be really impressed with this album. It's awesome. It sounds great. These guys, I have to tell you, the guys with an average age of whatever they are.
Whatever they are, thank you.
Cumulative is about 380 years between us all.
But
I
whatever the
think.
case is, you guys have put out the best rock album I've heard, bar none, this year. So it's, besides, you know, being personally invested, from a fan standpoint, it's awesome. So I just want to let you guys know.
Thanks, Jay.
Thanks, dude. That's
Hey.
nice to hear.
Thanks, Joe.
You're the man.
That was really good.
Yeah,
And considering that he collects music, you know, listens to all genres of music and all. Jay is a very hard person to impress if you don't know him personally. And if you've done that, you've done a wonderful job. And Jay, thank
Well,
you.
I don't know what that means, being I'm a hard person to impress. I'm only me. But yeah, I mean, it's a great album.
When I
listen
say
to a lot
hard
of stuff.
person
I have
to
a very schizophrenic record collection. But I will see you guys Saturday.
Oh,
So,
great, man. We're
until then, I'll
looking
see you
forward
there.
to seeing you. Looking forward to
Yes.
it.
All right, guys,
Love you,
take
Jay.
care.
Thanks.
Thanks, Jay.
When I say hard person to impress, Jay goes for perfection, and he loves perfection. And what I mean that he strives for the best, because he strives to be the best at what he does on all his projects and all. And that's what I meant by that. And I think that for him, you know, to love the album, he's really sits there, he listens to it. And I have to say, I have seen him pull out of driveways, and he's got a hell of a stereo system in his car. And I heard Devil's Door playing one day. It was really great. So thank you, Jay, for calling in. And I would like to say really quick, there's an endeavor close to my heart, and Nectar was part of that. And that is my new television show, Bear All, with Maryann Castello. And the show is in New York City. It's where we get to the heart of the matter with our special guests, show topics, and healthy lifestyles. This is a show you're not going to want to miss either. We've had many guests, from comedians to radio DJs to actors to top doctors to organizations on a mission, to producers, to authors, and rock bands, hint, hint, and so much more. Please, it's coming the end of this month here, September, and it can be viewed on Comcast local access channels, video on demand on Barrel.tv, and our very own YouTube channel. So stay tuned for details. I'm so excited about this new endeavor. It'll be Barrel with Maryann Castello. Follow me on Facebook. You'll find out all the details and release dates, and I'd love you to be a part of that also, just like these gentlemen were. It was a great time. So thank you so much. So if anybody wanted to get in contact with Nectar and follow, because you guys are so good about sending posts every day and
Call 609-241-7103 right
yes,
now.
that's our show here. But if they wanted to
609.
follow you on Facebook, where do they go?
Facebook.
They go to Facebook.
I'm
The
not on
other way,
Facebook, so don't look for me on there.
Nectar, the legendary rock band, has the most people, but we have Nectar Appreciation Society, we have Nectar, we have lots.
Nectar's music.
Nectar's Music.
It's a website.
.com
nectarsmusic.com.
is our. We also have the nectarproject.com, which is an older website from the early days.
Yeah.
But if you go onto nectarsmusic.com and you send an email there, we will get it. In fact, it'll come right to me.
And if
So-
they wanted to become a fan, they can join your email and subscribe by going to nectarsmusic.com.
And as a special event, we are actually going to be announcing, if you go onto our website, nectarsmusic.com, and you join the website, you become a nectarine. You'll leave us your email address and contact information. We will send you a free MP3 of Skywriter.
Wow.
Okay, that's something that we've not announced anywhere, but that's what we're going to do.
I'm going to sign up now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I want one of those.
Yeah.
And you heard it here, so that when
Yeah.
you've heard it, so you can actually have it in your collection.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Which
it
is
did sound good too, right? I haven't heard it. This is the first. It's really interesting. Tonight is a lot of things happening at once. This is the first time I've ever heard this as a group. You know, the
finished
mastered,
product.
the finished product,
Finished
and it's
product,
amazing. It sounds amazing.
Sounds great. Yeah. I'm very pleased with it. I mean, everybody worked really hard on getting it just right. We found a engineer, Leon Zervos. He used to be the head guy at Sterling Sound. He was considered one of the best in the country for mastering.
Yeah.
And he lives now in Sydney, Australia. And it just happens that Joe from the studio, Joe DeMeo from the studio,
The engineer.
the engineer, knows him.
Yes.
So he contacted Leon. Leon contacted me, and he sort of introduced us,
Yes.
and we talked about doing the single, and we sent him the single. He sent back 2 versions,
Yes.
so we could pick which direction we wanted to go in, and then bang, he knocked it right out.
Yeah, he really did.
And then he's waiting for the album. In fact, the album was uploaded to him, I think, today.
Oh, that's great.
So he's going to work on the album.
Oh, that's great.
And that's special that we've managed to touch all these people
Yes.
with our music. I think is incredible.
And how about Joey DeMeo that became part of us?
Joey DeMeo, as far as I'm concerned, is a member of the band.
Yeah.
right, and he is the owner of Surefire
Yeah.
Studios
Yeah.
in Long Branch, New Jersey. And one other special person who's
really
been
is.
working really hard on behalf of Nectar and becoming part of the family as well is Leonardo Pavon.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Leonardo's great. He
Oh,
works
yeah.
hard.
I see
He's
that.
working hard getting us gigs, and he's
From Moon June Records.
He's
Yes.
he's a workaholic, that guy.
And speaking of those shows, write this down. There is the Prague Stock Festival this October, Friday, October 11th through Sunday, October 13th in Rahway, New Jersey. And Nectar will be having VIP breakfast both on Saturday and Sunday, October 12th and 13th. There will also be sound checks that you might be able to attend. You might see them walking around the festival as well, so don't be afraid to come up and say hello. And they will also be selling quite a bit of their merch, which Mick, if you're watching on YouTube and listening on radio, he has the new single of Skywriter Devil's Door Nectar t-shirt that he is modeling today.
Very
I didn't
nice,
have the
very
runway
nice.
ready. I'm sorry, Mick. So sorry. There you go.
There
See
you go.
that?
Yes.
Yes, there it is. And also, while you're there at the festival, like I said, come up, say hello, experience the whole festival, and you can get your tickets for these shows by visiting progstock.com. But also, Nectar is performing there on Sunday, October 13th at 5 p.m. It is guaranteed to be one of what I call an epic performance, where they are coming out for the first time from all these years and doing what they do best. And I think you're in for a wonderful surprise. So you can see them Sunday, October 13th at Progstock. And then don't forget, you could also visit their website because tickets are on sale and you can get right through it from nectarsmusic.com for January 8th at Sellersville Theater in Sellersville, Pennsylvania, January 9th at Kennett Flash in Kennett Square, Pennsylvania, and January 15th and 16th. It's the Iridium in New York. It's 2 days, 3 shows, so you can get those tickets. They are on sale now. And gentlemen, I think that you coming onto the show, first of all, it's an honor. And also, I also want to thank you very, very much because you have a background vocalist who's been with you before. She is magnificent. Her name is Maryann McIntyre, and she's joining you on Progstock. And very truly yours, your host here. Thank you guys so much for asking me. I'm going to knock it out of the ballpark for you guys. But I'm really, really honored because it's cathartic. You know why? Because October 13th is my birthday.
That's right.
So I get to be on the stage, and
birthday
that
cake,
is a birthday
candles,
present.
everything.
On your
Everything.
birthday.
They're
Talking about birthdays,
Yes.
it's George's birthday tomorrow.
Oh, yay! I think
Right,
that-
George?
I think we could take care of that. Yeah.
Cheese was a couple of days ago.
Richie's.
I didn't tell anybody.
It was at rehearsal. He didn't want me to say a word.
You never told
No,
us.
I
No,
don't-
it was
no,
on
I- I
Sunday.
keep
It
things
was on
under-
Sunday during
Yes, it was.
George knew. George
Son
knew.
of a bitch.
George knew, and he swore me to secrecy. So I think, you know what, guys? I think we could sing
No,
a little
yeah,
happy birthday
you
to
know.
the both of you.
Today is
okay.
Johnny Kay's birthday, a friend of mine, actually.
Really? There you
Yeah,
go.
see?
September, a lot of birthdays, a lot of Virgos.
Would like to thank John Curlin too.
Oh,
because
John. Yeah.
Without
Make it.
John,
He couldn't make it
Yeah,
tonight.
thank you
yeah, he
for
couldn't
reminding
make it.
me.
He's
I
a little
gotta-
sick,
yeah,
but
yeah.
without his help,
We wouldn't be.
Big time.
Tell us what he's done for Nectar.
Oh, he opened up his house and his recording studio so that we could rehearse there.
And it's like every
anytime we
weekend.
want.
Anytime, yeah.
Anytime.
Beautiful person to do that, right? I
He
oh
has
my
been
God.
awesome. He sat with us, recorded what we were doing. He's been,
Videoed it, too.
He's videoed it. He's
And he makes good coffee.
And you know
it
what's
makes
funny?
great coffee.
And everything you guys ask for, it's like, oh, who needs a headset? Who needs a monitor? Who needs this? The
Yeah.
next time we're at rehearsal, I see
There
him
it
with a
is.
hammer and nail, hammering
There it
something
is.
into the wall, a hook, so he can hang another wire to, you know, fulfill all your requests, and really works really hard for all of us. And he's truly a genuine person.
Get well,
He's
John.
fantastic.
Awesome, John.
Yeah, and get well, because
Yeah.
we really want you to be healthy with the rest of us. You know what? We might have to bring him a can of tuna next time.
Last and not least, Maryann.
I was just going to
Oh,
say,
yeah.
we
Aw,
should
thanks,
probably
Yes.
say a big thank you to you, Maryann,
Yeah.
Thank
for
you.
all the work that you've done, besides
Yeah.
making
Incredible.
sandwiches and the
Thank you.
administrative
Kickstarter-
duties
the
that you've done, the
Kickstarter.
Kickstarter, taken
Yeah.
care of, and
Her and
this
George.
here.
And
So,
George.
I think a big
George.
thank you for Maryann.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
I appreciate that.
Nowhere without her.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're so
We'd be
sweet.
dead. We'd be dead in the street without Maryann.
Yeah, there you go.
What do you be on the other side? We don't know everything.
Oh,
Yeah, we'd still be on this side.
Yeah, we still
right,
on it.
not on the other side.
One thing that we've all forgot to say after the concert. So 6:30 after the concert, we're gonna have a meet and greet.
This is at Prague stuff.
It's at Progstock. We're gonna have a meet and greet, so you can bring either things you bought at the merch table. We'll sign anything that you brought, and we'll stay there until there's nobody else wants
Yes.
anything
Even body parts.
And I was just
Babies.
going to say permanent ink on a body
on a
part.
body part.
Body parts, babies.
Be
anything.
careful with the body parts. though.
You might get a vertical smile here.
I went to see Three Penny Opera with Sting on Broadway with a friend who wanted to go meet him, and he comes out backstage. I never saw so many boobs in all my life. Everybody was just pulling their shirt open to have Sting sign the
You too?
the boobs. Yeah, I got. He did mine.
Are you sending
you
out a
go.
formal invitation that this happens at the Nectar meet and greet table?
I'm not, but you mentioned body parts and autographs, and I
He's a dirty.
Immediately
he's a
thought
dirty
of
mind.
boobs,
and I
right?
thought
Straight
of
away.
boobs. I thought of boobs. Well, what else are you gonna say?
They're wrong.
You always look at her eyes. You always look at her eyes. Just
The eyes have it.
Yeah.
Hope
See-
my wife's not listening.
So we have a couple
dead.
of minutes here.
You're
Is
dead.
there ever, other than these shows coming up, and I could see we're going to create more memories here, is there a show that you could recall that really stands out that you guys all were together and did and was really special in your heart, like one in particular?
We haven't done a show together yet.
Not this
No,
band.
not
Not
this
this
band.
band.
No, you're talking about the old band.
Yeah.
I,
Yes.
I would say, well, there's a lot of, in the old days, there were a lot of bands. We enjoyed every night when we were playing. But I have to say, about 16, 17 years ago, we did Nearfest. And Nearfest was very special.
That was a great
we
show.
we got a standing ovation after every song. And I announced on a Saturday, because we headlined the Saturday night, and I announced that we'd have a meet and greet, and they were around the block. We sat for 4 hours signing autographs.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was amazing. That was amazing.
Well, I do have to say you guys have a really good fan base. I see that on Nectar, the legendary rock band Facebook page, there's more and more people every day hitting like, following it.
Yeah.
And what you guys are really good at is that you post behind the scenes that we do also on Kickstarter for everybody who's pledged, to see what went on in the studio. You share little clips with people of what you're doing. From fun things to old albums. I see fans come on there all the time, and then they're posting if they have old concert tickets,
Yes.
records,
Yeah.
and it's amazing the following that Nectar really does have, and the fact that everybody saved these souvenirs and these little things all these years pays homage, you know what I'm saying, to Nectar, and that now here is the new chapter of Nectar with everybody together, old and new, coming together, created this wonderful album, which will be a double vinyl album that is coming out in January, correct?
right.
And the single is out now that will be available again at Prague Stock Festival, that you can get limited edition. And you can also go to Nectar's website directly at nectarsmusic.com to purchase this as well.
Yep. And I have to say that my partner in crime over there, Randy Dembo, is the one who steals all these clips and sticks them on the internet.
Oh yeah, Randy, great job on that, man.
Great job,
I'm a
Randy.
clip stealer.
You're the clip stealer.
Yes.
Well, you
Well, it's
you
good.
captured history. I mean, you
Yeah.
captured history.
Yeah,
man.
this is definitely
Cool.
Nectar history, that's for sure. And of course, Maryann does that too.
Yeah, Maryann.
We try, because you
yeah.
have to document it. It's history. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
it's a huge part of history. And I think that when the fans can get to see what you do and that you're sharing your love of music for everybody, they tell their friends and it just gets around. And I like the fact that as a band, you guys are not making yourselves untouchable. You know what I'm saying? There's some bands out there that, just wave off to their fans, but it's the fans that come together, and that's why doing these personal and intimate tours with 100, to 400 people to be up and close and personal, I think is really good.
Yeah, well, we put our pants on one leg at a time, just like everybody else.
I've never heard that before.
And we can barely do it at all.
Right. We usually fall over while we're doing it.
Loves to be touched.
But they, oh no.
But to go into
Massage.
intimate clubs now, that's how we started.
Yeah.
That's exactly how we started.
I honestly believe that an intimate tour at this point would be very special for our fans.
Yeah.
It's no. I dare say at some point we'll do some bigger gigs. I know we're going to do some festivals in the summer, but I look forward to playing.
It's going to be enjoyable.
I look
Yeah.
forward to playing these small places,
me
and if
too.
we have to play 2 or 3 nights, so what?
Yeah.
I think that the fans will enjoy it. I think the intensity of the music and the intensity of the light show will be like nowhere else.
Yes.
Well, gentlemen, I cannot believe that 2 hours has gone past
Zipped
with
right by,
the
didn't it?
legendary rock band Nectar right here in the COA Radio Studios.
past our
Absolutely
bedtime,
love
so
it.
no.
I know it's past your bedtime, so I'm honored that you're still here. So I want to thank you, Derek Moore, the bassist of Nectar, for being here. I also like to thank Mick Brockett, lyricist, light show extraordinaire. We have Randy Dembo, who plays 12-string bass pedals, bass guitar. Thank you. Ronnie Howden, the wonderful drummer with a rhythm section. He could do a song in one take. It's absolutely amazing.
One take, Ron.
They
And
did them
then
all in one take.
we have
Context.
world-class new keyboardist for Nectar. He puts the K in Nectar. Kendall, Scott, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming on the show. I'd also like to thank George back there. George,
Thank you, George.
thank you for passing your notes, doing all that you did to make this show possible, and everything you do for Nectar. We
coming to
couldn't
see
do
it,
it.
man.
And also,
She almost forgot me.
Oh,
Mom.
screw Richie, screw
She
Richie.
almost forgot me.
No. He's part of my show here in Health and Wellness. So our musical director, but also our front man, which is vocals and guitars, singer, songwriter,
It
Ryche
is such a good
Chlanda.
feeling to be with these guys. If you see how it feels to be Kendall, me, and Randy, to watch Mick, Ronnie, and Mo, what they do is such an honor. I mean, it just is beautiful to be here.
Absolutely. So thank you, Richie, so much for being here. And of course, none of this can happen month after month, week after week. And putting up with my shenanigans all the time is our engineer, Art Ackerman. Thank you so much. And remember, get Skywriter, nektarsmusic.com. Until next month.
See you at Project Dog.
Yes, I'm Maryann Castello, and we will see you next month, October 16th, Wednesday, for the next show. Good night, everybody.
Here comes the sun, and I say,
It's all right.
Thank you, Richie.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
Great song, man.